Hello everybody! Today we've got another match analysis video, this time against Ramp, okay? Now, I'm working with same blue-eyed shell I have always worked with, but now there's just a few changes. Disclaimer, I am playtesting, okay? This is a match from a league that when I was playtesting, okay? So don't ask me questions about this build specifically yet. I haven't determined whether it's better or worse, okay? However, what I'm experimenting with are the following. Third Field of Ruin, Sensor as the counter spell, because people have praised it a lot, and I have to agree that having played a lot against, for example, like Soul Flayer, having played against Blue-Black Twin, against the Mirror Match, I find these Silk Crabs and Seal Away sometimes to be stuck in my hand. So I've decided to try this other approach, right? However, I still try to keep the same removal count, right? So it's still 6, right? It's still 6 removal spells. I want to keep this, I want to have the flow, a bit of flow, a bit more flexibility, and see how the flexibility works out, okay? So this is the core. Does the same. Omen of the Sea is nuts. Same thing here. Changed a cast down into Elspeth's Son's Nemesis. The goal is basically the -3 to have against these mono red decks, which are very low to the ground. I don't want to be burned out by the Ramunap runes. And Ithasa's Intervention as this split card advantage interactive spell. So that's the core of that's the deck I'm playtesting for now, right? Sideboard is 14 cards the same because I love the sideboard. I only wanted to cut one Rest in Peace because I find it lackluster. I think it will be 2 Rest in Pieces going forward. Now I don't know what to put as the 15th card. I played the league with 1 Isolate because I find the mono black matchup to be like really average. However, it will probably become Gideon of the Trials. Okay, and I will play testing that. Okay, so that's the deck I'll be playing. I'll give the verdict on how good it is otherwise. And let's get into the match, shall we? Game 1. Okay, so this is game 1. This is my hand. I'm looking at this hand and I think this hand is nuts. Okay, I'm on the play, right? I've got 3 lands. I've got turn 2 interaction. If I don't need to, I've got turn 2 Omen, right? And if I need to be reactive, I can go turn 2 interaction, turn 3 interaction. Sneepest of keepers in my, on the planet. Now, I begin with an island, and I think actually there's a lot of value in doing that because I could go glacial tapped, right? And realistically, that wouldn't change much. However, if I begin with island, people could think I'm a blue-black twin deck, right? So there is some value in that. But remember, you don't do that if it costs you whatever. If it costs you anything to do this play, right? Any percentage points to begin with an island, don't do that, okay? We are not bluffing, right? We shouldn't be bluffing. But this doesn't cost me anything because I'll follow it up with Glacial Fortress. That's fine. My opponent goes Elf Go. I don't cycle Sense. I want to hit their 3-drop, whatever that might be. So land go. Now my opponent plays Sanctum of Ugin. Now they play Nissa's Pilgrimage. Now the question is, do you counter or do you not? My decision is snap counter that. Because what I'm really afraid of is an Ulamog. And it's really difficult to manually get to that, okay? It's really difficult. And my game plan is basically Teferi Hero of Minaria up. And this is your best plan against Ramp in general, okay? Be it blue-green or mono-green pre-board. You need to play a Teferi, keep going up, and just defend yourself. And that's not that difficult because you don't care about like the Cavalier or World Breaker because they have no evasion, right? Really. So you can just keep verdicting every turn. But so you really need to stick the Teferi and let it stick. So you censor that one, my turn, untap. Okay, you look at your hand, you could play Field of Ruin, you could play an island, but doesn't change that much, really. You will want to Field of Ruin the Sanctum of Ugin. Okay, they play Yavimaya Coast. Now they play Nissa's Pilgrimage. I think, again, snap it off. Sinister Sabotage. Charm on top. That's a decision. From my perspective, snap bottom. I don't have time to. I mean, theoretically, I could go next turn Omen into cycle, but I'd rather just try to hit an interactive spell again. So ditch it, damage. I draw a cast out. So now because of what my hand looks like, and I could cast out that to really get some tempo advantage, and that is worth considering. I think what I would like to do is field this, because they don't play basic island, as far as I know, or at least as far as I thought. So my plan was to Field of Rune, Yavimaya Coast, and play Omen of the Sea. And to be honest, I think that's one option. The other option is to actually cast out the Mystic, however ridiculous that sounds, because to really stifle their mana development. And actually, I don't know if I think, looking at it now, I might actually do this. However, I opted for Field plus Omen this turn. So my opponent plays an Elf and attacks, no problem. Now I end step the best card in Pioneer. Okay, Sensor, Time Raveler. So next turn, I know I want to Teferi, because that's my win condition pre-board. And if that's the case, I think Sensor gets a lot of value, because I can Teferi plus, untap, hold up potentially a counterspell. And they hadn't played a 3-drop or a 4-drop, which they could because they had the mana, so they might have a 5-drop, like a Cavalier, which a Sensor could counter, right? And Teferi in general is very bad in this matchup, because his passive is irrelevant, his +1 is like and his minus is basically irrelevant, okay? So, yeah, Sensor up, Teferi bottom, yeah, so just, okay, yeah, Teferi up, untap. Now, whoa! Okay, I'm sorry, because I drew this, I drew also Seal Away. So what I decided to do, because they hadn't played a 3-drop or a 4-drop, is that end step I untapped 2 lands and immediately tapped them to play a Seal Away, right? To stifle their mana development. They play a Pilgrimage, unfortunately they attack the Teferi, and now, normally, I wouldn't care. But I do, right? I do care about it, because every of these attacks puts me 1 turn behind before I can ult, and that's huge, okay? So I really have to think about it. Now, because Teferi untaps the lands either way, I can play Omen main phase. Obviously, you plus Teferi first. Why? Because you always place effects which don't give you decisions first, and then the plays which give you decisions so that you can adjust, right? If I played Omen first, right, I would have made a decision based on my hand, right, without this card. So based on all of that, right, and then I would have drawn something. So it's much better to draw this first and make a decision based on a wider pool of decisions. And so I play an Omen main phase. Settle, Sabotage. Settle is fine because it exits World Breakers and Cavaliers. I certainly want a Sabotage. Play a land, go. Now see what they do. They play they've got 7 mana total. World Breaker, yeah. So now I always wait to see what they target and how they stack, right? But I want if I counter this or not, I want to see if they break that. So they target this Seal Away, sure. So first, do they break Sanctum of Ugin? That's what I'm interested in. They don't, so probably they again stuck on mana. Seal Away this. Okay. In response, I censor the World Breaker because, why wouldn't I? Yeah, so let's Seal Away this. And now I let this resolve. Now I've got 4 mana. 5 here, so I can dig. How useful will the cast out be in this matchup? I could cycle it before, right? I could crack Omen, then cycle, right? So what I decide in the end is that I will cycle cast out first, because it's not that useful, and play a dig. That's tough. So I think the options are Thassa's Oracle, Intervention, Sabotage, a land, and potentially cast out. I think the best option, because I have 2 mana extra every turn because of Teferi, I think I can just take double counterspell. Untap. Okay. Again, play Teferi first because that's the... I don't have any decision there. Play an Elspeth. Now, it's actually crucial, even though she might not affect the board that much, you think. She does, because she'll make 2 blockers for them and make Teferi easier to ult. Now, what land do I play? If I play this tapped, I can have Sabotage up or Intervention for 2. If I play this untapped, I have Sabotage plus this for 3, which will counter, but also gives me this kind of, divination effect. Sure. So probably doesn't matter that much, to be honest. My life total isn't of any concerns, I'd say, in this matchup. And my opponent plays a Cavalier. So now, okay, I don't know if I actually do that or not, but Cavalier, what I hate about Cavalier is that it ramps and I cannot kill it because it will put something scary on top, right? And again, they don't have lands because they would have cracked this. Okay, Glacial Fortress on top, don't want that. They play land tapped, which is a blue land. So, yeah, a Field of Ruin would be nice. Okay, Teferi, useless. Let's plus Teferi first. Let's see what I draw. I draw a Sabotage, that's great. Let's minus Elspeth. Actually, I can attack now with 2 soldiers. I could have paid 3 to crack Omen main phase, right? So put this into play untapped, crack 3, scry 2. I'm untapped. Woof. Okay. Again, just fingers crossed they don't play something scary. Uro. I don't care about Uro. I really don't. Because again, this is my win condition. Not life, not creatures on the board. I can keep blocking. I really don't care about Uro. So they play that. It immediately sacrifice, they gain 3, they draw, they put a land, they do, don't care. Is there another land? Yeah. Now they play. Uro again. Now that's worth considering. The countering is worth considering because it will keep attacking us. And if I counter this, it's very unlikely for them to have the full graveyard. On top of that, they've got only 2 cards, so I think it's very much worth considering to counter that plane's graveyard. They are passing, so I could scry. I think the best use of my mana is just to draw 2. From the intervention, I see, yeah, so I'll just take double verdict. Now I will kill my Elspeth, boost the tokens. And I think what I at least should do is just smash with everybody. Smash, my opponent does something, so in this case they don't block. Teferi is on 8. I can just recast a verdict. Oh, I don't obviously, yeah. I just verdict them, so they are now on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So just, they have to have 2 cards. They need to have a land and an Ulamog. They have a land. Oh, no, they're tapping mana. Please don't tap mana. I don't care. And again, this is the thing, in the matchup, in this matchup, so one is protect the queen, which is Teferi, but also, you don't care almost about anything which is not an Ulamog, because they can just poop, you don't have a Teferi, and a Nuggin, because it does exactly the same thing, right? So if something doesn't affect my Teferi, I really don't care that much. So I will still let the trigger resolve first, to see what they would do, just to get some information. Okay, Ulamog, obviously. Now I play a counterspell. Now it basically doesn't matter. I just pass the turn, and they concede because they know they're dead to the Teferi, right? I would have ultimate this, plus this, exile a land, draw, exile 2 more. Yeah, so that's the game. That's the game. Game 2. Game 3. Now, sideboarding. Okay, let's just go through sideboarding. So I sided out 2 Seal Away, 4 Charms, 2 Cast Out, 2 Verdict, 2 Freeze. Basically, if you look at my sideboard, it looks as if I sideboarded 15 cards in this matchup. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? So, Again, I'm just playing around with some numbers, but what I thought is that 1. Gas is excellent. 2. Monastery Mentor is excellent, and like one of the most important pieces of disruption. Rest in Peace is very good because it stops the Pilgrimage spell mastery, it stops Uro completely, and it exiles the Cavalier targets, and it exiles Worldbreaker. And I know that any subsequent Worldbreaker can exile the Rip, right? But I think it's serviceable. I wanted Isolate to potentially tag their 1-drop, because that is also devastating. So Disputes, because they are playing Uro and they will be playing their own counter magic. So, and what I cut is, like, it really actually makes sense if you think about it, because Elspeth doesn't affect the board that much. Dig, because Rip. For Azorius Charm, what do I want to put on top? I don't want to put Wellbreaker on top, right? This is like, it's okay. Cast out is okay. But again, I would never want to cast out an Ugin and then get it Wellbreakered. Teferi is rubbish, I've already said that, because minus is irrelevant, plus is irrelevant, passive is irrelevant. And to Verdict, because basically I have 3 mass removal spells now, plus Mentor, who goes wide, okay? So this is the hand, and I think it's excellent. Yeah, the hand is absolutely excellent. Tapped land, go, okay, so again, found land, go. This is probably will be quite quick. They play Grapple with the Past. Okay, now Rip is even better. So what do? Obviously, nope. I don't. No, that's ridiculous. Why would you slam Rip? You don't slam Rip. You keep mana up, because turn 3 is the turn when they can play Rejuvenator or Niz's Pilgrimage. So I want to stop Uro. I want to stifle their mana development. So no, I don't slam Rip. I keep mana up. Okay, now they play Uro. I'm Ether Gusting it, and now I can slam Mentor because I have to, right? Because there is nothing I'm scared of turn 4, because they either play a threat. What kind of threat? Exactly. So I'm not afraid of that. They could play something which produces mana, and I don't care, because it means I will untap on an empty board with double counter spell and Rip. So you do your opponent, okay? Uro, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Okay, Island, slam Rip, bash, right? Obviously Rip can have two Uros. Let's do that, and they will not multi-spell either way. Rejuvenator, I will be aggressive. I've got meant aggressively, just do that. Untap, draw a counter spell, yes. Bash, I'll be aggressive. Okay, well, let's see what they can do. I really don't care about any spell, because I can counter anything. Wellbreaker, don't care. And they just conceded. That was a quick game. It was literally 3 minutes, 30 seconds, okay? So, that was quick. So, this is how you do a ramp deck. So what I want to stress here is that you put a really lot of emphasis on Monastery Mentor, because he kills fast, okay? He really kills fast. And you back this up with counter magic, and they will slam one threat a turn, and I really don't care, right? I really don't care. They play Wellbreaker, removal, right? Or counterspell, and they will exile land. I don't care, because I've got already, 5 or 6 power on the board, and I'll just kill them, right? Smash into them. So that was the game. I think in general tips are exactly what I've said throughout this matchup. This matchup is annoying, right? I personally really dislike playing Summary Dismissal, because while it's okay, when they play a 7-drop like a Worldbreaker and I play Dismissal, means I traded my 4 mana, which is my whole turn probably, for their whole turn. So tempo-wise, let's say we're even, but I didn't advance my game plan, and they've got a ton of these types of effects, and I don't have a ton of Summary Dismissal effects. I'd much rather play turn 3 Mentor, which I play a 3 of, so I should find it, right? Especially if I like Omen first. And I play it Mentor, and then I can just soft counter the Worldbreaker, right? Because I don't care about my land going from 5 to 4, if I've got board advantage, really. And if they want to return it, you will take their tempo, and I'm killing them while they're doing it, right? So, yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for some probably blue-white control updates after PT Phoenix. I'll probably be doing a separate video on the state of blue-white control in Pioneer, going through some waffle builds, planeswalker builds, sensor builds, blue-white Thirst, Skura control build. Thank you very much for watching, and cheers.